Even though I like the 52 to 30 intro I've made, it definitely could be better. So let's make a new one. For this episode, I'm competing in an editing competition against two freelancers to see who can make the best intro. The competition will be judged by my buddy Branden, who's the director of visual strategy at Simple Strat, so he knows a thing or two about what looks good. But don't worry, he won't know which edit's mine until the very end. Before we begin the competition, let's talk a little about Fiverr. It's a global marketplace where freelancers can offer digital services for as low as $5. You can find everything from blog writing and logo design to programming and video editing. I'm a big believer in the phrase, you get what you pay for. So when you pay a designer $5, you better not get your hopes up. There's a stigma against Fiverr that because most services are so cheap on there, the end result isn't that great. So let's put that to the test. Why do so many people use it? Why do so many businesses rely on it for animated explainer videos or those whiteboard videos that were so popular like 5 years ago? So to get the competition set up, I contacted some freelancers on Fiverr to see if they were up for the challenge. Because it's a global network, there were some language barriers, but I eventually found our two competitors, Kathleen from Pakistan and Sudesh from India. To make sure everyone was on an even playing field, I made some rules for the competition. Number 1, the finished edit must be 15 seconds or less. Number 2, they can only use the footage and music I provided. That's it. There's only 2 rules because I wanted to encourage everyone to be creative. I sent them the footage and everything they needed to get started, and then I got to work recreating my own intro. My plan was to edit to the beat of the new song, do some interesting time remapping and keyframing, and then throw in a few motion graphics to spice it all up. I honestly don't know if Brandon's gonna like mine more than the other two, but I like what I came up with. Before we bring Brandon in, let's go over how he'll judge the entries. First of all, he has no idea whose entries are whose. Each video will be judged on a 5-point scale for creativity and technical skill, and then there will be a bonus point if they stayed within the requirements. All those points will be added into one final score that will determine our winner. What does the winner get? Respect, I guess. There's no prize. And now the moment you've been waiting for. Let's go to our judge.
Hello, I'm Brandon, and I'm here to judge some videos. I'm interested to see how the Fiverr people do it compared to how Jason does it, and see how big of a gap there is, if there really is one. If Jason's video isn't any better, then I guess good work to the Fiverr people, because Jason usually does pretty good work. All right, let's watch the first video. Got a nice soundtrack. Good effects. Had a little attitude and edge to it. I like that one, it's pretty good. It looks pretty templated, but all the effects are pretty cool. Creativity wise, let's just give it a baseline of 4, because there's a lot going on, a lot of action, a lot of cool transitions, but it was pretty much the same transition each time. So there's probably something more creative they could do, but let's give it a 4 to start. Technical skill, again, this is the first video I watched, so I don't really know what to compare it to, but I mean, it looks pretty solid. Let's just give it a 4. Unfortunately, it went 5 seconds over, so it doesn't get that bonus point of fitting the requirements. So overall, we'll give this an 8. 8 out of 11. Ooh, we got some drone footage. Takes a little different order of clips. Yeah, this video is better than video number 1. Video number 2 was different. It definitely did not look like a template. Although the first one did look pretty nice, this one just looks more original. Creativity, it's better than the first one. So we'll give it a 5. Maybe we gave the first one too high of a score, but we'll go with that. Creativity, we'll give it a 5. Technical skill, again, better than the first one, so we'll give it a 5. They weren't really repeating transitions. I liked how it opened with the audio bars. Yeah, technically very good. We'll give it a 5. Give it 1 bonus point. 11. We'll give this one an 11 out of 11. I think this was Jason's video because there was a lot of attention paid to the details as far as when text came up. There's one point where it was behind him and then it was in front of him. It wasn't the same transition throughout. So I think this is definitely Jason's video. Let's dig into video number 3. Well, this was definitely the most basic of the 3, the simplest one. It looks like it was probably the quickest one for somebody to make. It doesn't look very personalized. I mean, overall, pretty good quality template, just looks very templaty. At creativity, we're gonna have to give this one let's give it a 2. Because the first one, although it did look like a template, it was just better quality overall. And more, it looks like more detail in the transitions. This one was very basic. Doesn't look like much time was put into the details. I hope this isn't your video. I'm gonna feel like a dick. Technical skill, we'll give it I guess we'll give it a 2 as well. For the same reasons, it just looks like it was plugged into a template. So it comes in at 8 seconds, which is well under the 15-second requirement. Video 2 was the best, so it was better than video 1, and then video 3 was clearly the worst of them all. I hope it's not your video. The winner of the Fiverr video editing competition is clearly video number 2. Yeah! Woo! Thank goodness. Jason's clearly stands out from these other Fiverr videos that are I'm assuming are based off of templates that they either created or bought and then just plug stuff in.
So what did we learn from this experiment? Well, that Branden's theory is correct. Every freelancer I talked to on Fiverr sent me links to templates and then told me to pick one. That might be okay for some people, but for me, I like original and creative work. If you feel the same way, you might want to check around with your local creative community and not be so cheap, because you get what you pay for. A huge thank you to Branden for judging our competition, and thanks to our competitors from Fiverr. If you've had any bad experiences on Fiverr, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And of course, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next week.